the original series is coming to its end. So, 2 episodes today. We've got All Our Yesterdays, which is the gang gets frozen in a cave, and there's a lady there that I think Spock hugs at some point, and there's some fur coats, and that's all I know. I could ask Mark. Hey Mark, what actually happens in All Our Yesterdays? Give me a quick summary. Alright, we'll see what he has to say about that. Turnabout Intruder I remember a lot better. It's not a good episode. It wasn't a great way to end the series with that, but you know, they... Hi.
Hey.
Well, my dear friend, the trio of Captain Kirk, Mr. Spock, and Dr. McCoy find themselves flung into the past, much as I myself have been. Like in my tale of the Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's court, their scientific innovation clashes with a society less advanced. They endeavor to resist the tides of time, just as I did on the Mississippi.
What? Okay.
Hello there.
I feel like it's getting a bit lazy. It's just sort of threw that in like, yeah, he probably did something on the Mississippi.
Easy peeps.
Don't worry about it. Okay, so yeah, All Yesterday's, apparently they get thrown back in time to a cave. I don't know, prehistoric cave maybe?
Yes.
There's a lady there in a fur coat. What is... yeah. Turnabout Intruder. When did the show get canceled? Were they like in the middle of filming the episode when they got canceled? Because it's very clearly not a finale. It's just another episode.
Yeah, I think it was sort of mid-season.
Oh well. So, it's an episode we're going to have to headcanon pretty hard to make it not wildly sexist. But, you know, that's fine. We can make some headcanon work. I think it's actually canon that the person there is just crazy, because she's talking about how women can't be starship captains, but then Enterprise gave us Captain Erica Hernandez, so I think that's just not true.
Yeah.
That's fine, it's fine. It's just a story about one particular person who's a bit off.
I pretend when she says, your world, she's talking about Kirk's world, not Starfleet, etc.
I was so confused
Kirk
for a second.
personally.
Oh, that's a nice interpretation.
Yeah, that's one of the good headcanon ways you can make it work. She says, specifically, your world of starship captains doesn't admit women, is the line. So, I mean, I don't know that that's true for Kirk, actually, but you know. Anyway, how's the weather?
I mean, he's learned from a first officer, who is a woman.
But could he get
Was he
used to
there
having a
first
woman
once?
on the bridge? So, weather-wise, it's unlikely that the storms will knock out my power, but, you know, if the stream just suddenly ends, it ends. Don't worry about it.
Fun.
The stream for TOS goes out with a whimper just like the show did. Yeah, all of California right now, or like half of it, it's not doing great, but it is a nice change of pace because it's, instead of being on fire like usual, it's all frozen.
Oh, hey. Well.
It's good to change things up. I think we're past our fire season, actually. I think we're good for like 6 to 8 months. I don't suppose England burns down. I've never heard of England burning down.
We don't tend... Well, there's some small fires you get every now and then, but we don't tend to have major forest fires.
Yeah, there was the one incident.
We've had...
In the
some
war?
fires recently burned down.
I mean, it wasn't even a war the one time.
I don't know what time you're referring to.
The 1666, Great Fire of London.
Press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
It's just one of those
yes.
things in olden times that they didn't have fire codes and cities just burned sometimes.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's the cycle of life. Oh yeah, that's okay. That's one thing I remember clearly about this episode is that the name of the planet
All the
confuses
building were
me
made of wood.
because in remember the episode where Worf executes Gowron? They start arguing because Gowron wants them to attack Sarpedion, which some of the actors can't agree on the pronunciation. So some of them call it Sarpedon, some of them call it Sarpedion. I think one of them called it Saripedion.
That seems
Oh,
like kind of the thing that you should agree on behind the scenes before you.
No. Don't
Retort.
worry about that. This set is actually really familiar. Okay, we've 100% seen this actor before, but also, yeah, I remember this set very clearly.
It looks like Spock's brain set, basically. Remember, like, they have to, like, go to the panel where it has the device which does your hair at a salon.
Mr. Atos.
And also, this is like the Tikhon Empire in a way. He's like
Evening all.
he's evacuating them from.
Just go
We'll
somewhere
find out
else.
where they're evacuating
Sleep.
to in a second.
This is a solid strategy from this species. Their planet's screwed, so just leave. Just leave.
Well,
Scoops.
And there's no recent history in this encyclopedia. But fun fact, I remember I had an encyclopedia back in like '93, and it didn't even have Bill Clinton in it because they published it before that person won the '92 election. So
I bet it didn't even
encyclopedias-
have Obama in it.
So encyclopedias got out of date pretty fast. You had to like buy upgrades. There's not too much demand
Okay,
for recent
real quick,
information.
Kirk, come on. He's clearly a hologram. Stop
Yeah.
freaking out.
We've done this for 3 seasons now. There's like duplicate robots too. The woman.
There are so many explanations for what's happening. Kirk should not be confused here. I'm pretty sure Starfleet has a specific category for this type of civilization. 5-year mission. We only got... Wait, what season is this? Is this 3? Hang on.
3.
3.
Yes. Did they want to go for 5?
Yeah, I mean it is a 5-year mission.
They
At the
said
beginning.
beginning.
it was a 5-year mission. I think that was. It was more of the.
Did it
background
just
setup
sound
to
cool?
Star Trek. I think it was just the general conceit of what they're doing, because they were initially just starting off with the show. They didn't have any much idea on how long it would go on for. Obviously, they hoped it would go on for long. Probably did hope it would go on for 5 years, but they didn't know.
I mean, even successful shows didn't last all that long at this point. Like the Addams Family, I think, was 3 seasons,
Yeah, so
and it was a huge hit.
The Soviet Union and Maoist China, they established 5-year plans for like everything. Like we're gonna make more steel in 5 years. We're gonna.
Is
make
that
more
why
cotton.
we hear about where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah. So the thing is, the idea was that 5-year plans are how you plan the future of a country, basically.
I see. So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah.
Staying home from another pandemic.
Oh God.
That's where I
They
see
were
it.
I hope
probably
not.
trying to force the studio's hand. We already put
We-
5 years in the title, so you'll have to recommission it.
Ah, brilliant.
It didn't work, unfortunately.
We're really dancing around the actual thing here. He said wherever they wanted, not the keyword here, which I'm not going to spoil just yet.
Well, you can't actually tell them anything. We've got a whole 45 minutes to get through.
Also, so 3 seasons of TOS plus 2 seasons of animated series rounds out 5 years of the original Enterprise.
Join them where, my dude? Is the sun about to explode?
5 years from now?
Yes, the sun is
Recovering from
supposed to
World
do
War
that.
III.
Although there's a good chance we might actually cure cancer in 5 years. So we may be.
No.
We got some.
Not, especially not every cancer. Like, if we're really, really lucky, we might hit a breakthrough and cure a cancer.
Yeah, but the
Or
thing
at
is,
least have something in the early stages of testing in 5 years.
if you can like re-engineer a virus to attack tumors, basically every cancer will go away. I don't know. I mean, the tough part is destroying the malignant tissue.
There are certain species
that's
that don't
always
get
been the tough
cancer. All we
part.
need to do is splice in their DNA.
It's true. Naked mole
We'll
rats.
be good.
We've seen that same contraption in a few episodes in the past.
So your voice is low, and I already have you.
First,
jacked
we got to
up.
get through the
It
Bell
might be
riots,
pretty much.
etc.
I don't
Yes,
want to
the
make
bell
you shout.
rides are September 1st, I believe. Let me check. Yep, September 1st.
Yeah.
So everyone meet up in San
Or the
Francisco.
Troubles 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Oh, God.
We've also got the Irish reunification this year. We don't know when
Exciting,
this
yeah.
year, but sometime.
All right. So, and we're also counting down till the United States no longer exists.
Yeah, we've
What
got
year is
the
that?
second Civil War coming soon, unspecified specifically, but soon.
At some point, Buck Buckeye and the New York Yankees, like nobody watches baseball anymore, and then that's when the United States stops existing. Like,
All this
the
was
US
so
doesn't
far
see-
away when they wrote the episodes, but now, yeah, no, we're right in the period where everything goes wrong.
Yeah. I'm still
And they
trying to get over
nailed
the
it.
fact that I used to play, the card game based on Cyberpunk 2020, and 2020
Another
happened
60
4 years
years
ago.
until first contact.
2 years ago. But yeah.
That was some very unconvincing accents.
Yeah. So
I'm
we have the
listening to
the Ionian Gateway. The Iconian Gateway. TNG mimics this almost exactly, where they even do the thing. This is like, 20
At
years
least we
before.
made it through the eugenics wars.
True.
No. Per Strange New Worlds, the eugenics wars just got pushed back a bit because of timeline interference.
Yeah.
But
I really wish they wouldn't do that.
Star Trek Picard also shows eugenic wars happening in 96. So that was retconned. All right. I don't know why we're doing the Three Musketeers here, but
I especially don't know why we're doing Three Musketeers when he has a gun.
Oh yeah, it was fun when Khan was president in 1997.
And also people are so chivalrous. He's like, defend yourself. In our age, we just like beat up the other guy.
Okay, so in 1997, I had to look it up because I don't know my own country's history. That was Bill Clinton.
A musket is
So
a
was
gun.
Bill Clinton Khan?
I could have told you that.
Well, Khan ruled the world. He wasn't just
The
the
timeline refused to change, just like the Terminator movies predicted.
Okay, and then this thing is ridiculous because they're freezing, but it reminds me of Star Trek 6 when McCoy's freezing to death on Rura Penthe.
That's interesting. The face is attached by some sort of Velcro.
Some sort of Velcro.
The face of what? But Kirk is so chivalrous.
Where are they right now?
So Kirk heard a scream and he jumped through the gateway. So he just wanted to rescue the damsel in distress. But this part makes no sense. They hear them on the other side of the wall. I
That
don't
lady
understand where
looks a
we
bit
are.
like Beverly Crusher.
She
There's
does.
a direct connection to it.
Well, McCoy, that's the thing about portals. I would have thought he'd have learned his lesson about jumping into portals after the last time.
He didn't know it was a portal. Well, he saw
Well,
Kirk
come on,
disappear, I
man.
suppose.
Some kind of door.
She would legitimately be played by
Gates McFadden.
James McFadden if she was acting in Star Trek at the time.
So yeah, how can they hear through the wall if the portal is no longer linked to that locate? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a
So-
bit of a plot contrivance.
This isn't
The
TNG yet.
spirits?
TNG, we understand how portals work. Here, the portal is like behind the trap door.
It's like that episode.
And affecting
those
an
multiple
awful
episodes of the
Irish
holodeck,
accent.
where to access the holodeck controls, you have to go into
yeah.
the simulation to mess with panels and stuff.
Yeah.
Are there any Irish accents in Star Trek besides O'Brien's that aren't cringe?
Are there any what's beside O'Brien?
Irish accents.
Irish accents besides O'Brien's that aren't
One of-
cringe?
One of the actors in the Voyager Irish episodes was actually Irish.
Plus, we have the
okay.
space Irish people
One
in
of them,
TNG.
exactly one.
No. That is cringe. That is definitionally cringe. The space
Yeah,
Irish
no.
and TNG. That was definitely including those.
Okay.
Oh, the some of the space Scottish people, the groundskeeper, he was Irish.
That's worse. Maybe not worse, but also bad.
It's Gaelic, so. But it would be like
One next
confusing
to the
a
many who weren't.
No, exactly. No. It's also
Australian and British accent.
not hard
They're
to tell apart.
Totally two different things. Like to Australians and.
I think
And
it was
it's
the boyfriend. Let me just
easier to
Google it
tell
real
apart
quick.
than
Danny
Also,
liked that
yeah.
candle.
The ghost.
Like, that's just better from the text to speech for sure.
Also,
I do appreciate that it knows how to pronounce the Scottish spellings of words.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I just
there's
looked up.
also-
It was the Irish boyfriend, Janeway's boyfriend. That was actually Irish.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay,
He was charming. Katie O'Clair.
so it's happened twice that an Irish accent has been legit.
And Kamini is pretty American too, by the way. So.
We've got all kinds of
I mean,
Americans doing accents.
But you're right.
Yeah.
The Irish American. But it's like the same thing.
was
here when
also, I mean, his accent is genuine anyway. That's the point.
True, but when they showed the stagecoach in this episode, you got to remember in 1960 they're only like maybe 40 years away from like stagecoaches and horses. So to us that
Good
looks
evening, all.
ancient. Good evening, but and
And
like
you can still,
even when I was
can still find a stagecoach. They're still around.
Hello there.
yeah, true.
Also, real quick, Mark Twain, could you please say, "Dinna light that candle"? Okay, he completely misheard what I
Okay.
said, but it's so whatever.
I was gonna say, is it gonna recognize?
No, he thought I said dinner.
Ah, 'tis dinner time. Well, by golly, light that wax taper like they lit Jim's raft aflame in
Oh,
Huckleberry
man.
Finn. A meal shared in amity is akin to a Star Trek cruise assembly, each with their own tales and
I
tribulations.
imagined that in Ewan McGregor's voice.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we got to get Liam Neeson in Star Trek too.
Okay, let's try this. Mark Twain, please say the words
I would enjoy that.
hello there. Don't say anything else. Just say hello there.
Hello there.
Now he tried.
Hey, wow. He's learning.
So McCoy's a popsicle now?
You looketh upon a woman. And she's American. Wow.
You can clearly see that his hair's just been put in that position. It's
Someone
essentially
blasted him with a
glued
fire
down.
extinguisher.
In the Stratos episode, someone fell in love with Spock. And here too, this woman's like, wow, you're hot.
I think he
even your
might be the
name's
only
hot.
dude on the planet.
Okay. But we know
Spock needs some
That does
head
make it
and
somewhat less
shoulders.
impressive.
Zor Khan. That's a heck of a sci-fi name.
also the Mr. Atos guy, he must be at least 60 years old when
More
they're
like
filming
just
that.
for men.
So that guy's been around since like before television, before cars, before World War One.
To be fair, she's been on her own for a while.
Mm-hmm. But canonically, though, Spock is just very good looking. You can't help but sneak in a look.
Oh.
So I don't understand this. This Atos guy, he just flings people to random parts of the universe or parts of the planet.
Time in the planet. On
Time
the
in
planet's
the planet.
history.
Okay.
To be fair to Mr.
He's
Atos,
leaving
in this
prisoners
case, he
here.
didn't fling anyone anywhere. They just ran through.
Yeah, true. They help themselves.
Very reckless. So if she's in the prehistory part of this planet, she's the only one here.
She was
Where
sent
did-
to the Atabratron. That's what she said.
Yeah, but it's been a really long time.
Yeah.
Where does she get all the makeup and hair supplies and cleaning stuff? Oh, it's this dungeon again. We love this
Yeah.
dungeon. Henchman? Have you know he's in command? So do we know what country this is supposed to be? Or what like it's based
Britain.
off of?
This is like
this
the
Britain?
Catholic Inquisition, because basically you're under arrest for witches and witchcraft and
I was thinking like Spain.
Salem witch
Yeah,
trials.
something like that.
Yeah, Spain was the Catholic Inquisition.
Oh, Inquisition.
I mean, specifically against Muslims and Jews, they had to give up their faith. But
Okay, you're
Salem
not
witch
from
But at least
an
we got a
island, you're from
Monica Pass to catch
Medieval
out of it.
Iowa.
ENGI Frostbaland.
He's from Iowa. Come on.
But also the Salem witch trials come to mind because accusations of witchcraft were the basis for criminal prosecution. But so sad, guys. This is gonna be our last episode of TOS together. Well, this show.
The next one, yeah. But yes.
Yeah. We don't have any more.
He must be one of the people who's gone through the library.
Earn him.
And then we're gonna skip next week, Ryan, so we could then watch the movies. right?
Boom.
guess
See,
he-
he doesn't talk to spirits, he talks to spooky skeletons. It's totally different. Did Kirk try his gun? I know Spock's doesn't work.
I remember in the movie Phone Booth, starring Colin Farrell.
Oh
The
yeah.
the bad guy, he kind of points out, like, before cell phones were invented, like, if people were just walking around talking to the air, they were kind of considered crazy. But now, like, you got your Bluetooth headset on, you say where you
Yeah.
at.
That was a good movie and weirdly easy to headcanon as Jack Bauer from 24 having fun in his off hours.
So what's a really good, reliable way to tell whether someone's a witch? Because you
See whether
can't
they
build a
weighs as much
fridge
as a
out of
duck,
them.
of course.
Well, I can tell you what another culture or civilization has concluded. The most reliable way is to make the witch lick a very hot spoon, that's metal spoon that's been immersed in a fire, and if their tongue blisters, they are a witch, and if it doesn't blister, they're not a witch.
Okay, cool. Let me just check that with my confidential source. Hey, confidential source, what's the most reliable way to tell whether someone's a witch? Okay, that'll take a minute.
So, yeah, but in Egypt, that is, they still do witch trials, unfortunately.
Surely that should be the other way around.
As humorous as Innocents Abroad, this question. From Salem witch trials to Star Trek's telepaths and empaths, remember, 'tis the fear of the unknown and not the person themselves that oft make a witch. Still, best to look out for those with an uncanny knack of defying the laws of nature.
That's not helpful, Mark.
She is dressed very practically.
I was thinking like maybe that's what she went through the portal with, and it's just sort of deteriorated over time. Because there's surely no way that's what she would make for herself on this ice planet.
Oh, in New England, they'd throw you in a pond, and if you floated, you were not a witch, but if you sank, you were a witch.
If you floated, you had a high body fat ratio.
This was her clubbing outfit.
What, she questioned authority or something? Who is Zorkon? Do we know who Zorkon is? Oh, he's a tyrant. Good to know. That sounds unlike... That feels very much like a... That's what your executioner told you, so you wouldn't try.
Yeah, very
Possibly.
much so.
There's actually a Threat Holder video in which this episode was included recently, talking about the time travel. Though this does actually come up in Discovery to an extent.
Well, kind of. But for a different reason. Different reasons given. Also, she's not doing the thing where they like grab her vertices and just pull them out. Why is Bones dying?
He was in the cold. Frostbite.
Spock, don't just take her word for it. Come on. He doesn't know that. She's not a scientist, probably. There are ways around it, though. They could just go real fast through space, make their way back. Execution time, or is she just leaving? No, it doesn't feel like an execution. No, Kirk, come on, man. He's just trying to do his job. He just works here. Surely he doesn't have a key. Surely. Why would they give him a key?
It's interesting.
But he just delivers the slop. Poor guy, now he's gonna get fired.
I was wondering how like Kirk gets the guy to release him from the jail, but I missed this part.
In his Rome, towards
Yeah.
the Romans, come on.
So burning someone at the stake kind of terrifies me. Just because well, you get to hear them scream.
You don't have to justify it. It's a scary idea.
It just flames lick your feet. And
And then they put you in the comfy chair.
yeah. And then actually, so mercifully though, you'll probably pass out from the smoke before you feel the searing pain of fire.
How do you disprove charges of witchcraft?
You have to know someone.
Very, very carefully.
Ah, of course. Hey, Mark, are you a witch?
You have to get not accused in the first place. So,
by dying usually.
Yeah,
in the U.
That does seem like a good way
As
to
I
prove it.
once exclaimed to a certain Tom Sawyer, it's only worth doing something if there's a bit of mischief. I'm no witch, but I reckon I've shared in some magical experiences, those miraculous voyages on the Enterprise included.
Mark, that's not going to get you out of the witch trial.
No, it's not.
Also, I feel like I just missed some important plot stuff listening to Mark Twain.
He's basically pointed out that because they weren't prepared to go through, he's only got a few hours to get back through, otherwise he will die.
Ah. A minor detail.
Yeah, it's kind of like Giorgio in Discovery. Like your quantum signature, it doesn't line up with this universe, so you need to leave.
Yeah. So it's interesting that they do that for this episode, and even within TOS, there's episodes where they're in different times, and it's never come up.
Well, it's specifically the machine that does it, though, right? That it's either the machine realigns them to.
Oh, okay.
Oh, but no, that which implies that it's necessary to do that. Right. Okay, I
Yeah.
see what you mean. Never mind. Yeah.
All right, but in the next episode, Kirk body swaps with a woman he knows, and the way she swaps back into his body, there's no mechanism involved. It's just like a negative screen reel of the person in front of Kirk. So I don't know.
I thought you were about to say negative space wedgie, which is of course the TV trope.
Yes, both. Bones, what do you want him to do? You're in an ice age in a cave. Spock, you're just Okay, how about we just send Bones through and then see if he dies?
Yeah, that would work.
You've got a spare person to test. And then, worst case scenario, there's no third wheel situation going on. He understands that you've given up, you coward. It's racist.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Wait, what's happening
They're
right
getting
now?
very tense.
That was weird.
Basically saying forget about all hope of going back because our quantum signatures have been irrevocably altered.
But is he like mentally being altered by the machine? That's very out of character for Spock.
No, he's been altered by being in the past.
Yeah, he's definitely not.
That's how time travel works this week. Yes.
Okay.
You get irritable like you don't have.
He has a more primitive mindset because he went back in time.
Get that through your thick skull, Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have you know, my skull is optimally thick to protect the squishy flesh parts. Thick skull is a good thing.
All right, well, I'll say it for you again. We are not going back home. And I'll say it slow so you'll understand me. I love McCoy's response. He's like, my God, I can't believe you've given up, Spock.
Oh. Okay, just leave. Kirk, just leave.
Wait, is that the Sherlock Holmes set when they're walking down the street? And
maybe?
In TNG? That's crazy. Oh, wow. Nice special
Not sure why we
effects.
cut the frame right there, but oh well.
Iconian Gateway. Each frame costs money, Ryan. The sun blows up, huh? You don't want to say
Yeah, they
supernova?
do that sometimes.
You don't want to say supernova?
Well, they're a little pressed for time. They're probably not worried about the intricacies of stellar phenomena.
Yeah.
The important part
But
is it's going to blow up.
Supernova probably wasn't even in the public.
We knew what supernovas were.
In 1969, the public probably was not familiar with the term because stellar formation was like a novel.
They mentioned pretty new stuff on the show. Did they say black hole at one point? The word black hole had barely been coined.
That's what I'm saying. It's like a new fangled thing.
Besides,
supernova. Not the movie. But
you know,
like things like string theory don't exist at this point.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it existed. There were people in Princeton and Yale and Harvard like doing stuff, but it doesn't filter down to the popular. All right, so the word
string theory doesn't get mentioned in Next Gen either. I don't think, does it?
They do.
Do they?
No. They talk about like a cosmic string hitting the ship, but that's
string theory.
I don't think that's the same.
Never mind.
String theory was popularized by the 80s.
No, cosmic strings are not the same. Yeah.
But
not to be confused also with a cosmic filament. Those are also that's a completely different phenomenon.
All right, so the word supernova was coined in 1931.
Yeah, because that makes sense. Because novas had been known around for a long time, although we didn't know what they were.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we had like this giant night sky explosion for years.
You have cave paintings of giant night sky explosions.
Yeah. But
those are lucky cavemen.
Relatively, they're kind of rare from.
I am a little jealous of them.
I don't think
we can only hope that Beetlejuice has exploded already.
Yeah, that's the best. Which is possible. Like we might get to see a supernova.
What also sucks is that our star is super lame. The sun won't even go supernova.
Oh, yeah.
And don't confuse a postganglionic fiber with a ganglionic nerve.
Wait, wasn't it a pre-ganglionic fiber with a post-ganglionic nerve?
The term supernova, according to Google Ngram, was introduced around 1939. And by 1960, it wasn't even used, but it really peaked by 1988.
But, oh no, I guess I just failed that exam.
It doesn't receive much usage but in 1960 or so, although it starts...
Did you fail the question, or did you deliberately state the question wrong, state the answer wrong, so you wouldn't be found out? Is that...
I'm
is that a
posting
muffin?
the chart for supernova in the Discord chat.
Where did you get a muffin?
The Muffin Man.
A pre-ganglionic supernova with a post-ganglionic space wedgie.
No, that's not accurate.
And that's true because I think most people would just say nova, you know, in those circles. They wouldn't even bother saying supernova.
Well, a nova by itself is a different thing.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's not a sun exploding.
What's a nova?
I actually don't remember.
I mean, I know it means new in Latin. So.
Off the top of my head, I feel like it's what happens when a star... I need to look it up to make sure, but off the top of my head, I think it's when a star sheds its outer
does
layers.
Not destroy the star.
Yeah, it starts shedding its outer layers and creates a planetary nebula.
And undergo further explosions. In contrast, a supernova destroys a star completely. leaving behind either a neutron star or a black hole.
All right. I mean, a neutron star wouldn't be
Or a white dwarf,
destroyed, but
I think.
No, the
I
white
don't
dwarf is
think
nova.
so.
it's nice.
Is it
Nova
always?
or
I mean, it might not. If
supernova
it's
would differ in
if the
their
stellar core
brightness
isn't massive enough,
and
it doesn't
duration.
necessarily collapse to a neutron star.
No.
Okay. I
But
forgot about
if
that
it's
collapse.
supernova, then it will become a neutron star. It's a neutron star or a black hole for supernova.
Yeah.
Is it necessarily? I don't think
Yeah,
that's true. I think
gotta turn into something.
I think the stellar remnant can be light enough that it doesn't happen.
Mark Twain, what is the difference between a nova and a Type 1a supernova?
Actually, 1 second. Yeah, there is the Type 1b supernova, which is the standard candle, if I remember rightly.
All right.
Okay,
So-
looking at the answer he
Candle
gave,
talk.
this is going to be entirely unhelpful, but it's canon.
Hopefully, none of us ever see it.
Well, friend, painting this cosmic picture is akin to me describing the mighty Mississippi at dawn. A nova is like a mild river
Whoa.
swell, as a star belches out a shell of gas, yet lives on. A Type 1a supernova, on the other hand, is a colossal Mississippi flood, a violent event wherein a star expends itself completely,
80s
lighting
sitcom
up
audience
the cosmos as Tom Sawyer might have lit up the night with a stolen lantern.
The AI doesn't know. The AI doesn't know to pronounce it lives or
It's
libs.
trying.
It's
I'm
not
just
there.
saying.
Supernova fights Batnova before teaming up together, along with Aquanova and Wonder Womanova.
No, that's
The
the point is a nova is a discount version of a supernova. It's a little explosion.
so
Wait,
when Kirk
there was
said-
voiceover there and his face wasn't moving at all. They just overlaid the audio over a clip of him standing there.
Yeah, this episode has a lot of audio overlay. I think all of McCoy's lines are like dubbed over because when he was freezing to death, when he was freezing outside, he sounded like really clear studio wise. Like I didn't think his lips were moving in sync.
You can get Minestrone Supernova in a can in the supermarket.
Spock, you don't even know her.
Look, if you're lonely, you can fall in love with anyone.
Spock is in love with her.
It's
They
unclear what's
are
happening to Spock.
shoulder
He's being
banging
really
as we
weird.
speak.
Can I just want to point out that for somebody who's supposed to have purged all emotions,
Type
she
1a is the
often
standard candle.
falls in love with people.
Look, love is the most powerful force in the universe. It's even stronger than gravity.
No,
Ugh.
that was so much cringe.
Yeah, the lines from Interstellar that I'm convinced were just.
It was from
No.
no, it's from Disney's the Sword in the Stone.
I mean, that only makes the lines in Interstellar worse if he was cribbing from Disney, which I believe. That makes a lot of sense. But yes, it's what happens when you tell someone he's really bad at writing female characters and he gets mad about it and hopes no one asks him to write a female character again.
So it's literally what's happening that because they're in the past, Spock is acting like an ancient Vulcan. Is that?
Yeah. Yep.
Is that how this works? Are we sure?
In this episode.
But like I said, he was in love with the Stratos woman before.
Spock's midlife crisis.
Yeah.
Not how Vulcans work.
Sarah had an end-life crisis.
True.
and he's only half of a Vulcan.
I mean, the next time we see Bones, I don't know if he wants that life. He looks like a disco wizard.
They do him dirty on the age up makeup.
That was so... No, and the motion picture.
Oh, motion picture. It's true.
Where he's... I don't know what they did to him.
They do him dirty, full stuff after TOS.
Yeah, to be fair, they do everybody like that. That's just what they think old people look like. Marco.
So
It really doesn't make any
Histo
sense.
Bones isn't real. He can't hurt you.
I feel like the TNG writers definitely played off of this when they did the Iconian Gateway.
Hey, Mark, how come Bones looks like a disco wizard in the motion picture?
A disco wizard, because it's the 70s, man.
Cue the disco music.
You
They thought that style was
my
gonna
dear friend,
go on
the
for hundreds of
motion
years.
picture dresses Dr. McCoy akin to a riverboat gambler with gaudy plumage. 'Tis a bold move, like allowing that rascal Tom
gaudy
Sawyer
plumage,
to choose his Sunday
savage,
best. But
maybe.
alas, every epoch has its fashions, and even starship doctors aren't immune to temporal trends.
Okay, so it was the trend of the time.
Yeah. Gray jumpsuits.
Guys, the star is about to explode in like 5 minutes. Just leave. You're already dead here. Emotionally?
Why would she die?
The sun's about
Space
to go nova.
mechanics, temporal mechanics.
She can't return to the present.
Because passing through the portal, she was prepared to do so by Zor Khan, who altered her biochemistry to only be able to survive in this time period.
Well, then why are Bones and
Because
Spock
Zor
there, no
Khan
problem?
is dead, so Zor Khan didn't prepare them with the biochemistry.
I only need
thing.
like 6 minutes, Captain. I'll keep my hat on.
Wait, the crew enters and leaves through an open arch, and the people inside can't leave. Is this just a holodeck?
Is this
little bit.
time travel? This is
Yeah,
time travel?
Yeah.
So the portal.
Then he can stay there as long as he wants, and they just pull him out.
No. Here's the issue.
Not this one, because the portal is linked
Well,
through time.
Yeah, it's
Just
like
move the
it goes
portal.
back
San
a
Dimas?
set number of years or something instead of linking to a specific time period.
Also, the show's about to end, so they're not too concerned with how much
Well,
canon.
they didn't
Well,
know that.
Zarabith
And they
gets
never
a
been
friend
concerned with
after
canon.
all. She gets Mr. Azaz, so that's...
No, he swapped it out.
Oh. Where did it go?
That's his escape.
I don't know, we don't know. This one's somewhere else.
That
His
was
family. He
escape.
said to his family at the start.
I don't know.
So
I'd go to
the Enterprise.
the hot
Atos
grieving
didn't
girl.
want to live on this planet anymore.
Yeah. So the Enterprise comes to evacuate a planet, but everybody's already been evacuated.
Yeah, they just left.
The last person just left the building.
They evacuated to a different time.
Yeah. They just went back to the previous periods of their planet. Though for some reason they're kind of like spread out. Well, the lady on the ice planet was sent there as a punishment.
After all, he was
Shouldn't they-
already in his pajamas.
Wait, how does that solve the problem? Then don't they just survive until the present again?
No, because it's like 5,000 years, so they're dead by now.
Well,
No,
here's
but
the thing.
they're
not trying to save the planet. They're just trying to
Okay,
save
yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
I guess. This seems like you're just going to increase the population over time.
Yeah,
So
You're going to end
once
up
they
with
get back to
a Philip
that.
J. Fry scenario where you're your own grandfather. And
They don't even have like a Grivet Island. They're just booking it to wherever they want.
That was the same planet as the Inner Light with the Rustic Flute, I bet.
That sounds unlikely.
Because their sun was getting too hot to handle also.
I mean, that is how suns do.
Alright. I don't see you playing a Rustic Flute.
Suns do that thing.
I mean,
It do be like that sometimes.
sometimes it's like once every 5 billion years, so you guys are saying it like you have first-hand experience of this.
No, but
Well,
it is
as
something
mentioned-
that they do. They're known for.
We've already established that we can't have first-hand experience with this because our sun sucks. It's lame.
Right.
And we have not
Every
seen
day-
supernova in the sky in modern times.
I
mean,
sure
our sun
they've
might
observed-
get to the size of Earth. We don't
Like,
know.
With the camera era, I think we may have
Yeah.
seen something in 1820.
All right, get ready to press play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play. Robo.
Don't, we expect that the sun will get
Last-
very close to Earth at any rate, right?
Last episode.
Every day I wake up hoping the sun will explode.
I mean, that seems unlikely.
I have.
It's gonna be another
And
what,
yet-
5 billion years, 10 billion years?
I think
Wow,
it's
one day.
5-ish.
Don't hold your breath, Robo.
Okay, yes, we are now on the series finale. This will be a truly climactic end to the series.
Sexist end also because, well, they imply here women can't be starship captains,
Yeah, just headcanon that away. Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
which is kind of weird.
I mean, she's talking crazy, or she's talking about Kirk specifically, his world.
Because we know
something.
no, she says I'll never be able to join that club. So maybe there's a captain's table.
Yeah,
where
but
she's
that's
not
because
invited
of the
to?
treason.
Yeah, but
Just some
so
light
where does it stop? Because
treason.
we know you can be a woman number one, so you can't be a woman captain.
Yeah, no, it doesn't make sense.
Can you even
It
in
doesn't.
TOS? Because I thought that I don't think the studio let him do that. I don't think you can be a woman first officer in TOS.
Canonically, though, she still was. You know, Una Chin Riley.
It's canonical a lot later, like 60 years later.
Well, no, but it's canonical that she was.
Yeah,
like
in the menagerie,
during
they
the
showed snippet of
during the
cave
events
where
of
she is the first
Oh
officer.
yeah, the
it's in all that
menagerie
security
happens.
footage.
So
Oh yeah.
there's no limit on women in Starfleet until this episode.
That was one of the studio notes. They're like, "You can't have a female first officer. She'd be next in line to be captain. You can't have a female captain."
What if her uterus starts wandering?
Like, whoever heard of such a thing as a woman captain or a black captain?
I think is it Star Trek
Or-
4 where we get the first female captain?
On screen,
She's on
I
that
think.
ship. I think it's the Saratoga.
But you
that
know, here's
gets
the- we have
deactivated
female
by the rail
admirals.
probe.
We have female admirals, so I'm not even sure.
Do we?
Like,
We did it. There was Admiral Grace Hopper,
Is that
Star
Grace
Trek-
Hopper?
and she was an early innovator in computer
In
science.
real life. I was thinking
in
in
real life,
Star
yeah.
Trek.
I missed as to how
Sorry,
Kirk got on there.
no,
and
sorry,
she's
it's
captain there.
like so it existed at the time that there were women in and with military ranks.
Yeah.
But
they
that's
weren't
a
probably
different
not sending
question
them
for
into
whether
combat.
people would. Yeah. Also, it's just a separate question of, whether people would have understood them on television. Like that might still have been weird, even if there were. Yeah.
So they stood in front of two tablets, like the Ten Commandments, and that's when they did the Freaky Friday swap. So they ran out.
And now Kirk will know the indignity, direct quote, of being a woman.
And then they went back to their sexist roots.
There's going to be a lot of interesting lines in this episode. The Ryan's Edits YouTube channel officially does not endorse the views expressed by this episode.
Not to any of us.
It kind of ends with the note that, like, they kind of realize there's no reason to stop her from being the captain, that they're kind of messed up.
I don't remember it ending in that way. I remember it ended with everyone saying, God, that lady was crazy.
Yeah. And but the last thing they say is if only. So, like, if only we could have let her be a captain, she wouldn't have gone crazy.
Oh, we're going to get some good Shatnering with him, like, admiring his body.
She does a good job of acting.
She does or he does?
They both do a good job of acting each other.
Yes, Robo?
Have to defer to the eternal words
reference to Shatner's acting here, you'd have to think that he has just met this person, the actor, whereas she has the ability to watch him act on Star Trek for the past 3 years.
Eventually, we're going to learn what we have to defer to.
Right. Defer to the eternal words of Jimmy Kimmel, which is
acting.
There are women captains. They're just not as good.
No. No, the Ryan's Edits YouTube channel officially does not endorse the views expressed by the other participants in the voice chat.
Jimmy Kimmel.
Women do the job every day. So say whatever you want to say.
Yes, do it. Do it, Bill.
But they only do it 70%
no.
as much.
No.
You're wrong. They're police officers, they're soldiers, they're doctors, there's Navy captains.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And when you account for occupation and tenure, there is no wage gap.
Oh, boy.
Yes, there is.
No, there isn't. No, when you account for occupation and tenure.
No, when you account for occupation, the stats...
There's no money in the future, so there's no wage disparity in the future.
The gap narrows.
It narrows, but it's not eliminated at all.
It narrows to a statistically insignificant amount.
No,
it's
it narrows to, what was it, like 7 cents or something?
Another huge problem, though, is like when a woman's working and she has to pay for childcare, right? That childcare eats up the majority of that parent's income. So,
well, if you want to talk about the quote-unquote pink tax, it's something else.
I do not, actually.
But also, I mean, we could ask, why is it that so many occupations are
male-dominated?
Like, why do women seem to be... why are there so many male-dominated occupations?
Yeah, I mean,
controlling for occupation seems a little bit weird. Is my point. Whereas,
no. I mean, you have to look at. It has to be an apples to apples comparison. You can't just say the average of women.
It is, but I'm saying what I'm saying is you're.
There are two problems here.
Discount the result. That's like a big proviso.
No. I agree with you. You want to examine why women are shunted or select these occupations that pay less. We can talk about that.
Right. That is exactly. So the pay.
But what I'm saying is, when you have
still there.
If you have equally experienced, qualified man or woman in the same position, they are making the same, and in some cases more.
All right, so let me shift to something less controversial. I think this episode has implications for transgender philosophy, even though they probably were not thinking about it. But I remember I was talking to someone, like teenager, who's more like, I didn't really grow up thinking too much about transsexuality, but it's more of a thing for the millennials or the what is it, Generation Z, Zoomers. So one of my Zoomer friends told me that he was arguing with a conservative, and he gave him this analogy, right? If we took your brain and we put it in a woman's body, like assuming we're talking to a man, right? There's 4 men here. So would you be a man or a woman? And the conservative was like, I don't know how to think about that question. But this episode exactly goes there, is that right now Kirk is a woman because he has a woman's brainwaves going on.
Anyway, the point is this episode is sexist.
Well, I'm saying though, it has trans important issues for trans people too. Actually, it's not really that sexist because it's trans inclusive. That
no, it is. This is all the comments about women in the episode.
I mean, yeah, it is sexist, but at the same time, it's making an important point about how gender is not confined to a body. It's a good
Captain
exercise.
Kirk is still Captain Kirk when he's Lester.
I suppose you can make that argument, but that's.
I just wanted to get off the wage.
He did.
True.
So Kirk is
Man,
so
look
evil
at that Shatnering.
I think he even orders the execution, right? Of
yeah, for mutiny.
McCoy. Lester. Dr. Lester. Oh yeah, this guy's involved in the body swap.
Yeah, so he is Dr. Lester's boyfriend.
Oh, okay.
And
Kirk's boyfriend at this point. Yeah.
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 Him. Are you sure you wanted the body swap lady who wants to murder people and wants power?
This guy is like, I don't want to be a murderer. And it's like you're crossing every other boundary.
That's interesting phrasing, Captain. Also, did Bones just actually, like, accuse him?
Maybe.
Yeah. Bones is the only one who's on to, like, the whole...
Which is why he'll be tried for mutiny.
Yeah. Like, Kirk orders him off the case here, which he never does in the other 3 seasons.
Speaking of things we don't see in the other 3 seasons, I've never seen someone, like, writhe around like this, and I don't even know how to describe the noises that are being made. But I've never seen that reaction to a phaser stun. Usually people just go unconscious.
So, I mean, it kind of runs into this, right? So, first, Freud was very sexist. He thought women all had penis envy. Like, they all secretly wanted to have the male organ, and that's why they
Why
were
would you
so...
want that?
I don't know. So,
well, I mean, to be fair, it's a lot less.
It is inconvenient.
Look, if anything, if I heard something once which I found to be very true. If anything, men have penis envy. We're kind of obsessed with our own organ. I don't think women have penis envy. But
I mean, yeah, given the choice, I'd rather have the one that doesn't, completely screw me over every month. But maybe could we do neither? It'd be so convenient.
You want to be like a Ken doll, just smooth down there?
Yeah.
Well, you could be. You could be.
You get rid of all the bits.
That is something within our ability.
Data's lol.
You need some alternate way to do procreation because that's still important. But maybe we like.
Well, IVF is still legal, right? Or did they ban it already?
Yeah. I mean, it's only the one state so far, so.
Yeah, I know, but this is how we're doing.
So screwed.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking like other species, they like deposit eggs and then you just sort of like spray them.
Yeah. Or the male seahorse carries all the eggs. So
Yeah. Egg lay like fish. That'd be so much more convenient.
Reproduce with the genai. Put your genetic material in a husk, and then it grows into a person.
Sexual reproduction.
It won't be the same person, though.
Right. Sexual reproduction is more.
Two people put their genetic material in, it gets combined.
All right, that makes sense. So sexual reproduction is more evolutionary advantageous than asexual reproduction, is because like the diversity of genes allows for
Yes, because you get
I don't think any of us are
alternating
arguing for
pairs of
asexual
chromosomes and you
reproduction,
get
though. I just want
chromosomal
fish method.
crossovers.
I know, but like just squirting and fertilizing someone else's eggs, that doesn't seem like sexual reproduction to me. That just seems
That's sexual reproduction. That is the definition of sexual reproduction.
What I'm saying is that when I think of
Please
sexual
stop.
reproduction, I don't think of
just
yeah, you're wrong.
My gametes being flock
Factually,
I mean, that's because you're a human with human experiences. That's the reason you think that.
That is sexual reproduction. You're right. I mean, even by the way,
no, we should do the Avatar thing.
Yes, but cross pollination among plants is also sexual reproduction. So
yeah,
with the stalks.
Yeah, well,
look,
the pollen
human men should just like
the Avatar thing with the stalks.
pollen.
Uh-huh.
Once a year, and then all the people around them just get pregnant.
There you go.
No, that would be
there's
awful.
thousands of
That would
kids
be
I
so
don't know
bad.
about.
That'd be so bad for everybody.
Giant tree that fell, and then a second later, all the pollen on the tree fell because it was like suspended in the air. And
you just go to the beach and you're walking around. They're like, "Are you pollinating?"
So,
oh my god,
like,
this guy's pollinating.
When you die and you fall, like all the pollen stays up and just like stays in the air.
You have a ghostly after image made out of pollen.
Yeah. But so this episode is sexist because they thought psychology was all about women. Oh, so I was gonna say the word hysterical, for example, it comes from the word hystero, which means uterus.
Yeah.
They thought
wandering uterus. That's what
women in general were just
was Ryan was talking about it before, yeah.
But yeah, as they thought women were just lunatics, basically. And obviously, the word Luna comes from the word moon. Luna, which is Monday. Lunatic comes from Luna, which means moon.
Kirk, you good? I don't know whether to call him Kirk or Lester. I'm just gonna call him Shatner. Shatner, you good?
Yeah.
That's she, hers, Kirk. I mean, she's not telling you, but that is her preferred pronouns. The TNG episode, First Contact, where you have the androgynous alien species.
Yep,
it's kind of like
I mentioned them earlier.
Thanks.
Different episode.
The husk genetic material.
Yeah, it comes to mind too because it's not really about. It's more about gender identity than it is about gayness. That episode. You couldn't talk about gays back then.
Hollywood had an aversion to it for a while through like
20s.
the mid to late 90s.
Yeah, starting from the 20s.
By
the bad
Hollywood,
guy was
do you mean
always...
Rick Berman?
No,
I mean all of Hollywood. So
yeah,
here's
Rick Berman was their instrument of homophobia, but yes, it was a widespread thing.
So have you ever seen The Rocketeer? Excellent movie. I recommend seeing it. Have you seen The Rocketeer? Two guys living together, and they make a point of mentioning this guy's off-screen girlfriend multiple times throughout the film. You never see her, but they wanted to make sure you knew she had a girlfriend. you didn't want to leave there any ambiguity that these two guys living together might be more than
really
just
the
best
Torah
pals.
Zial of that.
The what?
The Torah Zial, the character that only exists to say, no, this character's not gay. What are you talking about?
A case of the not gays.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, but you actually see
Garrett came down with a bad case of the not gays. But yes, that is even more impressive when they don't even feel the need to show us.
You wouldn't know her. She goes to another
She lives
school.
in Canada. You wouldn't know her. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bones, stun him. Well, sedative. Bones, you love sedativing people.
Sappho and her friend.
Going back to the
yes,
McCarthy purge of So first, you couldn't have communists working in Hollywood because there was a blacklist,
The
and writers
girlfriend
couldn't get
totally
jobs.
exists, she just goes to another school.
Actors
Right.
couldn't get jobs, because they were on a blacklist. And so along with that, so there were certain codes, and so I remember reading we had to take a class on gay and lesbian American history. So the reason people in the 50s were scared of communists and gays was because like both of those people had to meet
She lives in
secret,
Canada. You wouldn't know her.
like our secret communist club where we're plotting the overthrow of the United States, our secret gay club where we're plotting to seduce all those straight men or whatever gay people do. And then but also you have to hide
That's
it.
probably how it works.
So a lot of secret handshakes or whatever else is going on. So they were, and also they were frequently together, right? So the communists would turn out to be an active homosexual, to use the language of that era. Alger Hiss, UN ambassador, the U.S. ambassador to the UN, would be a point. So anyway,
It's been at least
I am
15,
now-
20 seconds now.
Yes, I was just gonna say as well. I'm now cutting off historical context.
If I could,
Not Janice. I don't
So
know. You
women
look like
too?
Janice Lester.
there are these moral codes in Hollywood. So if a woman cheated, she had to like die by the end of the movie. So all this stuff
I
was
mean, that's
yeah.
still happens in horror movies.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
This is
That's where it comes from. It
as
comes from, like,
Scream, Cabin in the Woods. Like that's often noted.
yeah.
Isn't? I mean, I don't think so. Like, it's why it used to happen, but
So
like,
going
Scream
back to
was
the episode
90s.
for a
Like,
moment.
it's not the reason it still happens.
So Nurse Chapel here, if Strange New Worlds Nurse Chapel would 100% believe her immediately.
Yeah.
In all the news shows, people are way more familiar with things just get crazy in space.
Yeah, much more genre savvy.
They know they're in the TV show. They know what's going on.
It's always much better that way. Like, I hate it when characters just act like things are impossible.
I mean, like, even by TNG,
no, you
they
saw
do
this
that.
last week.
One of the things I really like about TNG is whenever someone says some crazy space thing is happening, like Dr. Crusher saying everyone on the ship is disappearing, everyone immediately believes them.
Yeah.
Until they can prove otherwise.
Star Trek actually was in the transitional period between the two. It said, well, it was at the same time as TNG as well. But it started at the hen and lampshade on it and going, look, we encounter weirder things every week. Is this really not a possibility?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Plus, this episode has all those Twilight Zone themes. Freaky Friday, starting Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis.
No,
wasn't there an older version of Freaky Friday? The Jamie Lee Curtis one was one of the remakes. The Jamie Lee Curtis, Lindsay Lohan.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I should think so. Yeah. I don't think she's that old.
Original Freaky Friday was 1976.
Oh, cool.
It's Jodie Foster and
no, Nurse Chapel, you fool.
No,
don't trust her.
Barbara Harris.
I don't know.
So what
She looks
if
kind
you
of like
were
Vosh to me, actually. Something about the smile looks Voshy.
Yeah, she has a great smile like Vosh, and the nose and the eyes too.
Aberrant.
So in Europe, right? We're talking about right now. They don't execute people because they believe the death penalty is inhumane, and obviously the Federation is like that. But when Kirk is ordering the summary execution of 2 officers, everyone's like, "Well, oh well."
Yeah, but he's the captain. What can you
Something
do?
odd.
No, a liberal society does not execute people. Period.
Except for General Order 4.
Yes, except for maybe like visiting Talos 4 or something like that.
Can't Spock just mind meld with them and find out?
Yeah, they're gonna do that in a bit.
Why doesn't she say something?
Captain's prerogative.
He is not aware that they're there. Or he's
I'm
not
saying,
aware that they're there.
but Kirk, him, Dr. Lester, is not saying anything. I think because they're like quarantined. Like,
yes, mutiny. Do it.
It's probably because technically we're in two different parts of the ship, even though it's the same set.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. And they're more interested in like following up with the captain than Dr. Lecter.
Yeah, I think technically they're on McCoy. They're in Dr. McCoy's office area.
They were
Yeah,
very
she's
different
gone
rooms.
Gotcha. Silly me.
Jim, that feels like a crime, Shatner.
No one wants to cry abuse. By the end of this episode, they have Spock, McCoy, and Dr. Lester in the brig, and it reminds me of in TNG Descent when they have Picard and Troy and Geordi and Data in the jail cell. Because like we're not up to anything.
It's like the episode Cat's Paw, where Kirk and Bones and Spock are hung up on chains with a spooky skeleton.
Why didn't he lie?
Oh, are we gonna hear a thump? No thump? Okay.
Yeah, because he's just got around it by saying, I'm a senior officer, Kirk has never once meant me in terms of no one to speak to people or things like that.
Even though he was very clear, absolutely no one.
They've mattified his nipples again.
TNG does this too. It's like, what's wrong with the captain? It's like, nothing's wrong with me. Shut up and follow my orders.
Yeah. I mean, Picard has taken over in two separate episodes.
Where is this going?
Yeah.
Posting a guard, they finally did it. It took 3 seasons and multiple escapes, but now they are posting a guard.
Yeah, but the guard is still totally incompetent.
So this science I'm still waiting for. Can you analyze my brainwaves and tell me that I'm a different person than Susie? Just from my brain.
Well, what they're doing is a lot of sci-fi mumbo jumbo. They're talking about P waves, Q waves, or whatever, such and such, where such things doesn't actually exist.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, we've spoken before about how like someone's brainwaves matches that of an alien, like that's the nomad alien or something like that.
Yeah, so that is to an extent that sort of thing. But it would be theoretically possible to make an engram of your memory of your brain, but just be difficult.
Yeah.
So I would think what's about to happen. They're about to mind meld. Spock's gonna figure it out. Also, what? Perfect. But after that, surely he's got a nerve pinch security officer dude, right? Because security officer dude's not going to believe him.
Purple.
Oh, come on, not telepathic evidence?
So if the original Freaky Friday was 76, then this is way before then.
Into space, but the captions corrected it.
Wait, was that an actual episode, or did they make that up?
I think it's made up. Because I couldn't remember anything like that.
Spock, do you remember that time I totally destroyed you in chess last week? Mind meld? That sounds like mind meld music.
Yep.
Yeah. We know the name of that security guard because I think he's been here pretty much the whole show. I don't know who he is.
Get the mind meld guitar.
Spark, do you remember the son I have with Dr. Marcus?
No, he doesn't know about that yet. Wait, no, he does.
Guys, I'm so sad. We won't have any more TOS episodes after this.
Spock, kill him.
Yeah. That was what that overall raise meant. Just don't see it.
Oh no, it didn't happen off screen. Wow. Walk past, left arm out.
Yep.
Oh wow, took both arms.
He knows smart. He knows what he was going to do. He's probably been trained.
So there was
by
only
it.
35 deaths. That's surprising.
Yeah, people kind of stopped dying this season. Most of the deaths were in the first few episodes. They were dropping like flies.
Spark, do you remember the half-brother you have and your adopted sister?
Oh, that one was just silly.
Why didn't he pick up a phaser?
That's what they all say, Spock. Well, that's rude. Mutiny. But there's never been any record of mutiny on a Federation starship.
That's why they're saving it for the last episode.
Oh, they're acquitted, though.
It was actually an ever-present fear the whole time.
Look at me.
I'm the captain now.
That could have been the thumbnail for this.
Right? You don't have to look so smug about it. Come on. You could at least hide the fact that you're evil.
Yeah, he got the old red lights on.
We could also probably just question Shatner here about stuff that only Captain Kirk would know.
Possibly.
That is the SOP for these things.
But you know, if Spock hadn't figured this out, we would have had the wrong Kirk the rest of the movies.
The rest of the no episodes. They would have just solved it off screen between the movies and now it's fine.
Have Kirk quote their command code.
Captain, what is your name? What is your quest?
What is your favorite color?
Gold.
Queen to Queen's level 3?
Oh yeah, that one time in all of Star Trek that they had like a sign countersign thing going on. One time.
Yeah, it was literally just put in play for that episode such that it would work.
Who's Dr. Coleman?
Her boyfriend. That's
the
conspiring.
The surgeon
Her
who is
boyfriend.
overruling McCoy on the ship right now.
Who's that on the right?
Random extra number 4.
Oh, I quite like that outfit.
What, Spock's outfit? Yeah, yes, it's very nice.
Captain Kirk, explain the offside rule.
Yeah.
He.
So, what actually happened with the transference thing? It had to have like swapped their whole brains, right?
Well, this
Or-
implies that there's a soul.
Or are we
Makes
doing like a
sense.
Katra thing?
Yeah, Contra.
Yeah. Katra swap.
Here's what I don't understand. How did it swap back into place without the Ten Commandments monument?
I think it's just on a timer. I think it undoes itself after a bit.
Okay.
Spock was talking about earlier,
Does
or
Spock
someone
mind
was.
meld them both and move it back?
They were talking earlier about how no one has ever done a complete successful transference. Shatner, what are you doing, man? Women don't have the temperament to be captains. Oh, are they about to do the whole she should have just been happy with what she was given thing?
Yes. Yes.
Hey, we do call it out.
Hey, we're being genre
Good job,
savvy.
Spock.
They've literally had an episode where there's people transferred into their bodies, so come on.
No, don't worry about that. They forgot.
About 2 episodes where it happened, I believe.
This woman in command of a ship.
Well, he's chewing the scenery in this one. How did that become known as chewing the scenery? It's a great expression, but
Hey, Mark Twain, how did the phrase chewing the scenery come to be? What's the etymology? Who came up with that? I'm sure Mark knows.
Ah, my dear friend, the term chewing the scenery
Over-exaggerated
hails from the
mouth
world of
movements?
theater, much like the glorious monologues in my novel,
Oh.
The Gilded Age. An actor so impassioned or overzealous, they appear to chew the very fabric of the stage, beget this phrase. As for who first coined it,
That doesn't answer the
history,
question, Mark.
much like the dense fog
So
rolling
say-
in along the Mississippi, obscures this detail.
The phrase chewing the scenery comes from them appearing to chew the very fabric of the stage. Thanks. Thanks, babe.
Jesus.
You heard it. Mutiny.
Well, that's how you know the show's jumped the shark.
Wow.
A recess is to be declared, followed by snack
Danny
time
Russell
and a nap.
levels of overacting.
So that's his impression of a woman,
They're now seeing that it's not church.
a hysterical woman.
The Enterprise shall be reorganized into the first.
It's a
Galactic
4-ship system. I like how one of us went for Star Wars and the other one went for Jellicoe.
What was the Jellicoe quote?
About
The first
into a
4-ship
system.
Okay. Thanks. We're going to
yeah.
reorganize everything from 3 ships to 4. You've got a hull full of landmines and my finger's on the button, and you're in a very bad position. Mr. Worf.
Oh, hysteria. You get it? Hysteria because he's a woman?
They are calling it hysteria. Yeah.
Wow. Argument for from authority fallacy.
So something else cool though. So Freud and Jung, they both hammered out modern psychology as we understand it today.
Freud
but they
would be
actually
thrilled with this episode.
Yes. But they actually had a female psychologist who was their collaborator. And she crystallized a lot of their ideas. So they owe a lot to her. And she's written out a history. But there was a good movie about it called Dangerous Game. They also both were having sex with her. But that's but yeah. But great movie though. If you want to understand where Freud's cookie ideas come from.
Yes, kill him. Yeah, Bones, we established this 20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Come on, keep up.
Yeah.
You know, if you're gonna plan mutiny, you don't have to say it aloud.
I mean, in this case, I feel like they should probably say it out loud so they're on the same page.
Right,
So they don't start just like phasering people.
Right, but what about the thing where the medical officer and
sketch about let's hope something bad happens to him? Yeah.
The EXO and
they
chief
spend
medical
months
officer
waiting for an accident to happen to the
can
man.
remove a captain for being unfit for duty. So what about that? Why couldn't we just done that?
Because that never happens.
Because it's mutiny.
I think they have sufficient evidence to relieve Captain Kirk of command at this point.
Yeah. But they don't want to do it the medical route. They want to do it the conspiracy route.
Yes, do it.
From where?
Like, do you want to go on the chopping block too?
Ooh. Oh.
Yep.
Wait, is that the Talos 4 one or is there something else?
The execution. Well, and the Talos 4 one is, I think, General Order 7.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
And
I
then
don't
they
know what
just,
General Order 4 is.
it's not anything. They just forgot about Talos.
I got excited and thought they might have been actually sticking to canon for once, but no.
No.
That was a silly thought. I should have discarded it immediately.
Who is he ordering it to be executed?
Bones. Yeah.
Matoyan stop. Yeah.
Because they got a recording of them outside talking about mutiny. Somehow.
Apparently the ship's always recording, except when it's not.
Except during an emergency security situation.
Remember when they're watching the footage from the original pilot in that one
yeah.
episode?
Yeah,
And they're like,
they have,
what
Lots of
starship
security
keeps
footage
these
there.
records?
oh no, they
like
have
this?
video footage
Yeah.
of everything live.
With well-chosen camera angles and everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's amazing. And even when Kirk was under court-martial for killing that Findlay guy, they have like the video angle of him pushing the button to eject.
The historical
eject.
documents.
The sacred Starfleet texts.
Who just isn't in the finale episode?
Oof.
Do you think maybe she objected to just everything going on?
This may not have been filmed the last in production order.
What is happening?
That was trying to force the
Hey,
transfer
what are you
back,
doing?
but
LOL.
weird.
This is great.
The memes.
Shatner, no.
But by the way, this is cutting edge special effects back
I
then.
didn't know that was the finale that gave us that meme.
Oh yeah, transference is a psychological term. Technically, it means
It doesn't
like
mean this though.
no, right? It means like when you talk to your therapist so much you fall in love with them, and you're not supposed to like confuse those
Not what
feelings.
transference is.
I mean, I'm trying to.
Transference is when you target an enemy spellcaster and siphon their mana.
But basically, you're confusing your emotions. Like you're redirecting your feelings to someone else.
Transference is when someone redirects their feelings about one person onto someone else. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So you're
not falling
Mark
in love with your
Twain,
therapist.
please define the word transference in a psychological
psychology.
context.
Yeah, but it's like if you're talking about your divorce and you all you do is talk to your therapist about it, eventually you move those feelings to your therapist.
No, not necessarily.
Mark Twain will tell us.
In the realm
Therapists are
of
trained
mind's
to watch out.
mysteries that even the Vulcan mind meld could scarce illuminate, transference is a peculiar phenomenon. It's like a riverboat passenger inadvertently hefting his baggage onto another traveler, unwittingly shifting feelings or thoughts about one person onto another. 'Tis quite the psychological puzzle, as twisty as the plots in my Pudd'nhead Wilson.
Yeah, when Data got a girlfriend, and remember, like she was like getting over another relationship with an emotionless guy, like she basically transferred all those feelings to Data.
I mean, that's
The
just
correct
called
person.
having a type.
Would you guys date Data? I would date Data.
I would.
Well, he's well versed in multiple techniques and.
True.
What was the exact phrase he said?
Yeah, multiple
The exact
techniques.
phrase he said was, "Honey, I'm home."
You are not.
I am. What is? I can't remember what the verb was, but yeah, no. Multiple techniques was the key phrase.
Familiar with.
He says, "I'm fully functional."
I am programmed in multiple techniques.
She
a
asks,
broad variety of
"How
pleasuring."
functional?" And he
He's fully
replies,
functional.
"In every way, of course. Programmed in multiple techniques, a wide
Programmed
array
okay, yeah.
of
a broad
data.
a broad variety of pleasuring.
Well, I didn't realize that it was that explicit with it. He didn't really need to finish that line. Multiple techniques was really quite
and anatomically correct.
Was Dr. Soon creating a sex toy?
Look, I mean, sex is part of life, so he was doing an everything toy. So now we have Kirk.
All right, we fixed it.
But nobody. All right, ear review. But nobody is born programmed with multiple techniques and a variety of pleasuring. Just they have to discover that on their own. So he preloaded
We have
data with
instructional material.
Yeah, but he preloaded data like he didn't.
I mean, sex is an instinct, right? So.
I mean, among biological.
Yeah,
you come
but
pre-installed
like,
with
all
some
those
knowledge.
techniques aren't
Yeah,
think so?
yes, that too.
Does anyone teach
No.
an animal how to mate, or does it just do it?
I don't want to get too
They
graphic
get the basics,
on
but
Ryan's,
techniques
stream here.
techniques implies
Gentlemen, this
something,
conversation is now concluded.
something more than the basic mechanics of what need to happen.
Anyway, look, Dr. Lester is just a crazy person.
Well-
She's so emotional and crying. Look at the sexism.
By the way, I like how the doctor's not guilty at all. They're just gonna
Execute her for mutiny.
coddle her.
Come on, one execution. Just
Everybody wanted to destroy Kirk at one point or another.
Her life could have been as
honest.
rich as any woman's.
if only. Do you want to finish that sentence, Kirk? If only.
What does that mean, Gene?
That would be nice.
only-
Yeah.
If only she would have been a good little lady and accepted it.
If only we allowed her to be captain. I think that's what that means.
Oh yeah, this fancy looking nebula. This was added for the remaster because in the original it was just.
That's from Next Generation.
regular-
That
In the original, they
isn't
just
that from
flew
the
into
opening
a
of Next
black
Generation?
starfield.
Sure, but I'm saying that nebula wasn't that from the opening of Next Generation?
Maybe.
Might have been.
Well,
Was it
TOS
just
women-
is
because
now
it's
over.
the final shot
It's
of the
done.
show, and they
It's
added a
all
little
done.
flourish.
and after that, they allowed women to be captains.
Star
before
Trek
that
4.
as well.
Star Trek 4. We get the first captain, I believe. Okay, so next week is Star Trek the Motion Picture.
Best movie
so
ever.
that'll be awful.
TOS will perish.
Your opinion is strictly
It's going to be a
incorrect.
long and slow one.
Let me load it
The
up.
more I
real quick.
watch
I
it-
want to see how long it is.
We gotta watch the director's cut extended edition. We
No.
can't just watch the regular one. Yes. Yes,
Okay, the
that's good
version
one.
of the motion picture I have is exactly 2 hours and 12 minutes.
Okay, that's the director's cut. Regular.
Now, about 30 minutes of that is just views of the exterior of the Enterprise.
That's fine. That's actually probably I would have sat through 2 hours of them just doing beauty shots of that
You
studio
can
model
get a
'cause it's
haircut
one of the
and
most
go to the
beautiful.
bank and not miss anything.
It's one of the most beautiful studio models that they ever built with that incredible iridescent Aztec pattern that was ruined by Universal Studios. Did you know about that? Do you know
Yeah,
this
lit
piece
up.
of the
Yeah.
Star Trek lore? So they lent the studio model between filming of the
Hang on.
movies.
Do
They
you
lent the
want
studio
to
model.
save this story for when we actually watch the movie
Yeah.
to fill some
When
of
we
the
watch the
2-hour
movie.
runtime
Okay,
where nothing
sure.
happens?
Oh, yeah. It's a very good
We'll have, like,
idea.
2.5
The
hours.
strategic.
We need
Releasing,
something to talk about
Fred.
because nothing's going to happen.
Just
in the
make sure you remind me.
movie. Okay,
Yeah.
talk
Pain
about
in the ass
I'm
to
sure-
film, though.
There's a 10-minute beauty shot. I'm sure you could tell us.
Oh,
We'll
dude,
have
don't
time.
be
Yeah,
right.
I'm sure it'll come up. I also have things I want to talk about with the
It's-
movie, but I'll wait until we get there.
Yeah. It's been so long since I watched the film. It'll be interesting.
Maybe it's not as bad as I
Been
remember.
decades for me, I think. Man,
It gets better.
it gets sad when you realize that you're old enough to say phrases like "it's been decades" and not be talking about your like being a baby. Oh well.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, chat.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to hold out hope that maybe I was just being really cynical the first time I watched it. How long ago now? 8 years? Maybe it's actually really good and I just don't know it. But we're done. The stream's over. The stream's over. Go away. I'm gonna go back to my other work.
Have a lovely evening, everyone.
See
No.
you
Hey,
guys next
I will not.
time. Oh, I did send you
Is that-
guys a link to